back to my channel. My name is Moyo J, and if you're watching for the first time, thank you for stopping by. You're very welcome. And if you've been here with me since my first video and the second, and you're here the third, I cannot repay you, but the Lord can, and the Lord will. Really appreciate you. So kisses. So on today's episode, I want to tell you guys a story. You guys have heard of H Factor. Ha! H Factor dealt with me. Let me give you the gist. So if you know, you probably already know from my name, or if you can't tell, I'm Yoruba. I'm from Abeokuta. I grew up in Abeokuta. I spent all my life in Abeokuta. The only time I ever lived out of Abeokuta was when I went to uni, and that was still in Ogun State. I schooled in Ota, so it was still Ogun State. And then for just 6 months, 4 months, I lived in Lagos for 4 months, and that was it. Otherwise, I had spent all my life in Ogun State, in Abeokuta. So I finished high school, I finished secondary school, and then I got into uni. And I didn't even know that there was something called H Factor. So basically, just in case you're not familiar, H Factor is like, I forget what that word is when you like emphasize a particular letter. So what happens to many Yoruba people is words that do not have H in front of them, we pronounce those words as though there was like an H in front. And then the ones that do have an H in front, for some reason, we remove it and pronounce it like as though there wasn't. And I don't know why or how. I don't know. Honestly, it's like one of the most random things that I'm yet to figure out. It's not important, but every time I think about it, like what was it about, growing up, or the culture or the environment that told us to put that letter H in front of words that didn't have any letter H, and told us to remove it from words that did have. So I'll give you an example. Have. Instead of saying have, we would say have, as if it were AVE, and we will completely ignore the H in front of it. And then words like egg, that has no H whatsoever, we would say heg. I don't know who told us to import H in front of egg. I don't know, but when I realized that I spoke like that, I started noticing it, and I started hearing it, and I was like, oh my God, it's everybody. It's like a virus. But prior to that time, I had no idea. In my mind, I'm just talking normally like every other person. Anyway, so, I had no idea. I was talking normally like every other person. I didn't know that I spoke in any particular way. It was just normal because I couldn't even hear it, because that's how we all spoke. So anyway, I got into uni and things changed. So in my 100 level, I just realized that I would speak to people and they would laugh. Especially the non-Yorubas. When you go to university, that's when you are no more, it's no more like people in your little, in your culture, or from your ethnic group. It's people from all over. So there was different everybody all over Nigeria, different cultures. So when I speak to people from other cultures, they would laugh so much. So I'll be like, what's funny? I would go around speaking like this everywhere I went, so confidently. There was this particular group of ladies, there were about 4 of them, if I remember well, that we were always going out together. 4 or 5 of them, we were always going out together because we were in the same hostel and we were close to each other. And we were kind of friends. But those girls, they would laugh. They would laugh so much that I would not be like, They would be like, Moyo, egg, no egg. And I would say, egg. They would say, no, egg. And I will say, wait, we are saying the same thing. Egg, right? They'll say no, egg. I'll say, yeah, egg. I couldn't even hear myself make the mistake. I didn't even hear it. I could not hear the difference. I didn't even know what was going on. I was so lost in all the laughter and jesting. I was lost. I had no idea. So because I didn't know what it was, like I didn't know, when somebody mocks you for something that you know, let's say for example you fail a test or something and someone laughs at you, you know what it is they're laughing at you, for. So it kind of pinches you a little bit or more depending on your personality, but it hurts a little because you know why they're laughing at you. But when you don't even know why they're laughing at you, but they say that there's something, but they're telling you what it is, but you can't hear what they are. You don't understand what they're saying. It doesn't hurt like that. It's just confusing. So I don't know that I was pained or hurt, but I knew that I was confused. But I started getting curious because it started getting really frequent. Like I couldn't even say a word without people busting into laughter, you know. And then I would go around and I'll just go about my daily activities confidently speaking rubbish. And can I just say that it is not a test of anything. It doesn't even matter. Don't even worry about it, right? It's just that it's good for when you speak, people hear what you're saying, and they hear what you intend them to hear. It's not like you're saying something and you think you're saying something but they are hearing something different. That's the only reason. It's not like the biggest deal. So anyway, as I was just saying, guys, so for the longest time I couldn't hear them. I couldn't hear the mistake. I couldn't, and I would go on and on. Oh, I'm going home. And then they would go, this guy, home. At some point, it started to bother me. At some point, it actually started to bother me. And not because I was losing confidence in like speaking, but because I was just curious. I am very bubbly. So even with the whole H factor, I would still talk to those my friends that, or let me not say friends, because apparently they were not my friends, because if they were my real friends they would have told me like nicely and made me understand, but they were having fun and catching cruise with it. So they are not my friends, they are acquaintances. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, they're not my friends. So I started to get curious, and I just sat on my bed and I was like, what's so funny about the way I speak? What's so funny about the way I speak? What's so funny about the way I speak? Why do they keep laughing? Why do they keep jesting? I just really wanted to know and understand why they were laughing and what was so funny, and not in a way to like even defend myself. I just wanted to understand. Because at this point it was like, no, they can't just be tripping. Something must be really funny. But what is it? I don't know. I can't hear it. And they're like, you have H factor. Say egg. And I'll be like, egg. They'll be like, oh my god, and then they'll burst into laughter again. But then I had one friend, I missed them. They were all my friends at the time, at least I thought. But I had one that was really close. I noticed that she wouldn't laugh as hard as the rest of the ladies. Ebube Chukuma, if you are watching this, I'm never going to forget you. Just so you know, I'm never going to forget you, because she kind of like, she made a difference, a big difference in my life. She made me see what I couldn't see for years. It just made me love her so much. Like after that time, I'll tell you what she did. So anyway, I remember this day clearly. I may not remember all the other details, but I remember this fateful day. Those other ladies were in the room and they just finished laughing at me. And then they all left. So they finished laughing at me and they went to get food, and I said I wasn't going. I think that day I was just kind of not sad, but to be honest, I don't think I was sad. Let's just be very honest. I wasn't sad, but I felt like, I don't know how to explain it. I felt numb. I felt like, what is going on? Why are they laughing? I was like, But at the same time, I wasn't angry with them because only Kotori Tongbo, but Koyemi. What I just said is there's definitely something they are hearing that is so funny. There's something that they are saying that I can't see and I don't understand. That day I sat down and Ebube didn't go. So she was like, Moyo, are you angry because of how they were laughing? And I said, no, I'm not angry. I just want to understand. I just want to understand what they mean. I don't know what they're saying, I just want to get it. And then she sat with me and she said, egg. And I said, egg. And then she said, okay. And then she made me say random sentences, like I would say, I am going home. I am, and then she just made me say all of those random sentences and heard me make those mistakes. And she'll repeat what I said and she'll be like, is there difference between what you said and what I said? I'll be like, no, there's no difference. And then I think for the first time it occurred to her that I couldn't hear the difference. So she said, there is no difference. I'm like, no. And then she said, okay. So she picked up a book. I'm telling you, she picked up a book like a teacher to a child. Bless her. She picked up a book that day and then she wrote egg on paper and she would write hair on paper. And she would say, so you see this one has H in front of it and this one does not have H in front of it. I'm like, yes. And then she's like, now this one that has H in front of it, you have to pronounce the because H has a sound. And then she was like, now say hair again. And I said air. And then she said, you see, you didn't pronounce the H. And I was like, so I should say hair? She's like, exactly. I'm like, oh. See, you guys, it was a small thing. It was a very small thing. It's just H factor. But she hugged me so tight and we were so happy. I felt true friendship. So, and then she said there's one more thing though. The words that don't have H. Now, I'm telling you what she said, but I'm also telling you what it is because in case you're watching this video and you're Yoruba like me, I'm just using what she said to also tell you what it is so that you understand. That's why I'm breaking down how she explained to me so that you will understand. And then she said to me, there's words that don't have H in front of them that you are adding H. I'm like, no. Okay, pronounce egg. And I'll be like, egg. She'll be like, see? I'm like, oh, I get it now. Day after day, week after week, I still spoke like that. So I started practicing. I practiced for long ago before I could completely stop speaking like that. Even after I felt like, oh, I was completely better, I still caught myself making the mistake many times, even up to recently, once in a while, like that. I still caught myself, but the huge difference was that I knew what it was. And I understood what was going on. As to when I had no idea. You understand? So, she later told me that there were some exceptions. I think she told me of honor and honest. I think those were the two she told me. I can't remember, but I know she told me of a few exceptions. I'm like, okay, so there are some that have H, but you won't pronounce the H. She's like, yes. Okay, so I have to cram the exceptions to say yes. You have to just know them, and you know them with time. I said all of this to say, sometimes when we see guys, me, I'm very laughy, right? But I'd rather laugh with you than laugh at you. Those ladies were not mocking me, but because they were kind of laughing in my presence too, but the only difference is that I didn't even understand and they didn't even care to explain. They were just enjoying I was like a show to them, or like the true friend. So anyway, please I know that like many have you seen videos of like people who are trying to like walk on maybe like an escalator or something, and then they would be so confused and people would record them and laugh. But I feel like we all learn every day, and I think that nobody's an island here. I also think that we all didn't learn everything at once. Like as we grew up on one certain age, one certain day, they announced and said, "This is the age to learn everything you need in life. Bam, take it." No, many things that we didn't know, and we quietly learned. You understand? And then we'll see people make the same mistake, and then we'll not be empathetic towards them. It's not good. Took her kind heart and her empathetic soul and her beautiful soul to like spot that need and say, okay, this is beyond the fault. There's a need here. She needs to understand. So yeah, if we can do that for, we don't have to save the world. We can't save the world, but we can make changes in our little corners. So it's okay to find stuff funny. I'm not going to say, oh, you're holding the laughter. Some things are funny. It is what it is. It was funny that I would say egg instead of egg. It is funny. I mean, it is funny, but instead of laughing to mock, it's okay to laugh because it's funny, but make sure you know, correct the person and help the person, and not just laugh to like just mock the person without making any impact. Do you understand? Let's make sure we make a difference even in that laughter. From my own experience, this is what I think would, you know, help somebody else, because it would be, if someone did that to me, I would appreciate it. So I think somebody else would appreciate it if you did that to them. So yeah. Okay guys, that will be all on today's episode. Woo! This is going to be a long one. I'm going to try and make it short, but it's going to be hard because it's a storytelling one, so it's going to be long. But I'll try and make it short. But I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully somebody who, you know, needs this actually watches it, you know, and learns one or two things from my own experience, you know. So yeah, that's everything for today's video, but I'll catch you on the next episode of this chat room. Until then, my name is Moya J, and have a lovely week ahead. Mwah.